don't know. I loved Ashley from the moment that I met her. I idolized her in a lot of ways, and I wanted to be like her. And after she passed and took her own life, I really had to look at how I processed my own weaknesses and strengths, and that it is really okay to not be the strong one all the time, and to take time to recognize the pain that you have inside yourself, because hiding that doesn't do anything for anybody. Like, I miss her fucking every day. Hi, I'm Kat Hollis. I am the founder and Chief Executive Officer of Haymarket Pole Collective in Portland, Oregon. I am a Black activist. My pronouns are she, they, and Black Lives Matter.
Hell yes. So when you first started working on this project, what came to mind?
When I got reached out to by you to ask about if I knew anybody who would be a good fit for this, I immediately thought of Ashley. She was a big reason for me starting Haymarket Pole, and a big motivator for me for my mantra, and for this whole project, which has been, for Haymarket, it's been, I just want there never to be somebody alone at 2 a.m. not knowing who to go to. And so when we were talking about sex workers who have really influenced Portland, I felt like Ashley influenced me, and I've influenced Portland, and I think it's important to know that not everybody is just a straight up hero, and a lot of people struggle, and a lot of people make it through the most amazing and darkest times with very few resources. So if we can uplift them in ways that show that they're not alone, that would be really valuable to our community. So, you know, Young MA says, small problems, big moves, and I feel like we made a bunch of big moves in the hearts and minds of a lot of people in Portland. There are about 7 clubs that have actually gone and done the trainings to get in compliance with state law. I feel like one of the things that we've really been successful in has been showing people that they have resources. It's kind of like a Miracle on 34th Street situation where, like, if we can't help you, other people can. But like, Union Jacks played rap music and like hired a black femme DJ. There was a couple of clubs with like Proud Boy bouncers who no longer work there. And I've been really impressed at how the community of like small businesses has been able to look at this issue and say, we may not feel that we're racist, but we can do better at anti-racism. And so, you know, racial tension is just something that we're all having to deal with more and more. And it's so good for any business, any person to have the skills to de-escalate the inevitable escalation of just shit that is going on right now. And so I feel like the clubs are opening up to the idea that maybe they haven't been doing enough, and I feel like that comes not from necessarily the businesses, but the staff and the individuals who stand in solidarity with us. And I've been really impressed at the solidarity, now that people know that there is something that they can do, that they're willing to do it. So I've seen a lot of changes just in training and in practice and in pussy. I think that it's really hard right now because not a lot of clubs are hiring, and so I'm really looking forward to working with these clubs to get really good best practices in place for their booking managers, because the booking managers don't know who they're supposed to hire. There's nothing written down that says this is the sort of person that we're looking for, and so those little decisions end up getting made with those microaggressions, with those internalized biases and preferences for what's going to sell. And I think the thing that has been most recognized is that the reason that, you know, people say like the industry is dying, but that's because we're still serving to these Wall Street executives from the 80s that don't exist anymore. Like, that isn't a person. The people who come into clubs are cool, queer folks, are black people, our young people are the people who are excited about feminism and consent and about wage liberation. And so if we can cater to that crowd, to the Gen Zs and the millennials, that's where the money resides. And money is a language that these club owners speak. And so when we hit them in their wallets with not paying stage fees for clubs that are shit, they really take notice and turn around. So it's been really good. There was a lot of fear of how to approach these clubs. I mean, I lost my job for advocating for workplace safety and equity. Charlie lost their job for advocating for workplace safety and equity, and trying to do labor organizing stuff. And so we know the danger, and I feel like people have been a lot more willing to speak up to their managers. People have felt a lot more empowered to define their own best outcomes. I've also heard that basically that managers are scared because they know that there are free lawyers for people who have issues. And so even just that, it's like a seatbelt. Nothing's gonna stop you from getting in a car accident. That's why it's called an accident. But the seatbelt really provides a sense of safety and confidence that makes you be able to do like a NASCAR race. And we all need protections in the workplace to make sure that we're able to advocate for our own safety, and so that when the car crash happens, we have an airbag and we know who to turn to. And I think that our more effective changes have been in the home, that we're providing support groups for Black birthing parents, specifically people who identify as mothers, who are sex workers, and those are free. And we were able to pay off people's rent. There was a couple of people who we were able to pay off their entire back rent for the pandemic. And the changes that I saw in those people of going from, being really silent on social media, being really quiet, being really just disheartened, to like wanting to go back to work, wanting to find a website that they can do camming on, wanting to do something to advocate for themselves. And I feel like that is like the first step in Black liberation, is to focus on the Black Lives Mattering instead of simply educating white people. Because like, if changing the heart of one white person was going to change things, we would have changed them in the 60s, like things would be better. Because they really believe that they're doing better. But Black liberation comes from empowering Black people and Black and brown folks, and especially Indigenous folks. There is no justice on stolen land. So I really feel like that empowerment of individuals is the slow march towards justice for us. What this project is going to highlight that there are people who, aren't Rosa Parks. There are people who are not MLK. There are people who are not Malcolm X that still struggle and live through every day, and their lives are revolutionary just by their existence. So encouraging people to continue to exist, and that rest and self-care are radical acts against a system designed to destroy us. So I think it's just really important that we all take time to recognize the strength that comes from surviving in a system that's not meant for us. Black Lives Matter, you can donate to Haymarket Pole Collective through haymarketpole.com. We're a 501c3. Support Old Pro, they're amazing. Check in on your strong friends. Ask them what they need. Ask them how you can help. Show up with flowers and chocolate and snacks on days when you don't think they need it. Little things can really make a big difference. I hope that whoever it is that's listening to this right now and needs to hear it knows that you're not alone, and that life is fucking hard wall to wall. Life is suffering, and you're doing great. And fuck them. Let them eat shit. You're strong and you're amazing. And if you need help in your area, find help.org or Google Aunt Bertha, unaffiliated, great fucking website. It has all the resources you would ever need. Aunt Bertha saves lives. So please get the mental health help that you need, and stay strong. Black Lives Matter.